queen of gentle satire. Can you stand it? Okay, I have my Aunt Bonnie lives in Seattle, Washington, and she spent like 35 years as an inner city, low-income school psychologist in a high school. And she's the most wonderful person, and I just love her, and we're really close. And every time I go to TED, she says, when you get in the car to go to the airport, I want you to call me, and I just want to hear it fresh from you. I just want you to tell me how it all was. So when Chris asked me to do this, I realized that the only way I could really do it was to pretend that you were all my Aunt Bonnie, and I would tell you how TED went this year. I would start out, and I would say, oh, Bonnie, when TED starts, first of all, I just feel so happy because I am finally among my people. My people. My people are Nobel laureates and venture capitalists and philanthropists and really high-tech people and professors of science at Ivy League universities. These are my people. Finally, I am with my peers. It is not those people I left back home, that husband who keeps bothering me to get my receipts together so we can do our taxes, or my daughter who just wants a ride to ballet class and some money. No, these are my people, Bonnie. And I see people here, and it's like, to me, they're like huge celebrities. Like I just saw Matt Ridley on the first day just walking by. To me, that is like seeing Brad Pitt. I wanted to run up and say, The Red Queen is the greatest book. And it makes me so, so excited. The TED thing started. The first guy, his name was Robert Gordon, and he came up and he had this kind of long, sad face, really cute though, like kind of an impish, sad monk kind of look. And apparently there's no more growth. Growth is dead. We had no growth for 800 years, then we had a little spit of 150 years where we had a lot of growth, and now apparently, Bonnie, there's no growth. So I'm thinking we should not go to Hawaii this year. Like, this is terrible. Even though I don't really understand exactly why growth is so important, but it really seemed bad. But then this other guy came up from MIT, and he said that is totally wrong. There's so much innovation, and there's going to be so much more growth. And then I was so happy, and the trip to Hawaii was back on. I was like, oh my God, there's growth. But then he did say that because of machines and robots and everything, that the blue-collar classes are going to collapse and have nothing to do. So that's a side effect. Then this guy came up. I think he was another MIT guy, another one of my peeps. And he had this huge robot. It was this giant robot, and it had like a face, and he showed us how this robot, working in collaboration with people, is going to be able to pick up things. Almost pick up things with the help of a person who's standing there. Sometimes two people. You might need, so initially the blue-collar workers will have more jobs and then fewer jobs. Oh my God, and then Bono was there, from U2, and he said that he gets aroused by facts. That was very exciting for me to think about. I thought, oh my God, I could really saddle up to him and say, oh, Bono, C-E-MC squared, percentage of the round. And maybe he would, the other thing that Bono did, this is what I love about TED. He tells you about a horrible problem, poverty in the world, so then you feel really bad. Then he tells you that we're making all this incredible progress towards ending poverty, and then he tells us that we individually are responsible for it. Yay! So you find out about a problem, you find it's being solved, and you're the solution to the problem. Fantastic. And there were so many great scientists who were so excited about their animals. The squid lady, there was this lady who was so excited about squids. She goes to like a squid summit every year. I mean, who knew that this kind of thing even existed? And it really made me think there needs to be more scientists like her, because she realized that the probe that they were sending down into the deep ocean that has the most horrific sound that she played for us for like 30 seconds that was so ear-splitting might not be the best way to attract fish. And her genius idea was to maybe not do that. and put a probe down there that fish would like. Oh my God, and speaking of my peeps, on my first day when I got here, I met this woman who works with dolphins. She's worked with dolphins in the Bahamas for 28 years, and I had seen the documentary on PBS or something, I don't even remember what, but I watched it, and so I knew exactly who she was, and it was so exciting, and there she was, just me, part of my tribe, kind of the people I hang with. Oh, and then there's this guy who won the TED Prize, Sagata Mitra, and he has gone around the world and he just puts computers in a hole in the wall and in places where people don't even know English and kids don't know anything, and they just learn neuroscience. And he gets grandmothers from England to just say, "Oh, how did you do that?" Even though I have to say, I think if I put a computer in my daughter's room, who's 13, and she didn't know what a computer was, I think she would look at it for a very long time and then become aware that she could see her reflection in it and put on some lipstick and then lay down. So I don't know. Oh my God, and also Bonnie, there are so many young scientists, genius scientists. Like there was this kid who's like 11 who made a fusion. I don't know which came first, fission or fusion, but he went into the garage and he did this thing that is like impossible. And now he's gonna solve the world's energy problems because he's gonna build this nuclear reactor underground, and it uses like nuclear reactor waste from other things, and it was so fantastic. And then he came on the next day and he had solved this problem with pancreatic cancer or prostate cancer, and he has a piece and he did that like in a day. And then there was this kid from Nairobi who figured out how to save the cattle and save the lions, and they were so cute. But then, thank God, these two gorgeous young girls who were in high school in Vancouver got up, and they found some bacteria that eats the phthalates that are the terrible thing in plastics. And I think we're going to get together, and Ted's going to put some money together, and they can create a new race of children together. And I think the girls should get to choose, and it's not just amongst those young boys. I think we should throw in the Sleepy Man Banjo Band boys. They'll have so many to pick from. Oh, and then there was this guy, Bonnie. Okay, there's this guy. He's like a saint. He's like a modern saint. He's this guy in Africa. He goes undercover to the most horrible, horrible, horrible places. He exposes the most incredible, terrible things in prisons, and albinos who are getting their parts of their arms chopped off, and he can't show the way he looks because he has like a death warrant on him. So he came out wearing a plate of spaghetti on his head. And it was so distracting to be watching these horrible videos, and then there's a guy with a plate of spaghetti on his head, wearing two hats. And I got so worried for him. Part of me thought, I can help you with disguises. Like, if you need a disguise, I am your gal. And then because he couldn't really see, he kept walking to the edge of the stage, and I started getting so nervous. I thought, this guy survived being in prisons. He survived, and now he's gonna fall off the stage and die at 10. Oh, and then there's all these artists. There was this really great guy that he had shaky hands, and then he realized that the shaky hand thing worked in his favor, and he created all this incredible art, and it was all about accepting your limitations, and he was so great. And then there was this other Chinese artist who makes himself become invisible in all these different situations, and he was great. And then there was this other woman who I think works out of London. I think she's from China, but she's like this designer, and first of all, she had the most fantastic shoes on I've ever seen anyone wear. And secondly, she showed us these pictures of her designs. And I have to say, Bonnie, I have become a communist, because after seeing those pictures of those children's rooms, I was so horrified that anyone would design a room for children that way, that it's just funny to me that it's a Chinese person that turned me into a communist. And, oh my God, there's this guy. His name's Elon Musk. I know it's not a perfume. I'm wearing Elon Musk right now. Anyway, he's like a perfect TED person because he's like, he started, first of all, I've never even heard of so many of these people. And he, started PayPal and made $1 zillion. And then he did Tesla, and he's doing electric cars. And then he started like a space, a rocket ship. And he showed us the big achievement. You can make a rocket go off and then it comes back down. And we watched it. It took a very long time. And we watched it, and everyone now, because see, my peeps understand how hard that is. And like, if you showed that in the regular population, they'd think, oh, the rocket just came back. Went up and came back. I guess that's very hard. And then there was a guy who showed us this duck, and this duck died, and then another duck came up and started having sex with it, and I guess this is like a common thing. Like, animals die, and he was trying to do these theories about it, and this duck, and this is the thing that really stuck in my mind about the dead duck. The duck tried to have sex with the dead duck, the live duck, had sex with the dead duck for 1 hour and 15 minutes. To me, that was the most astonishing part of that entire thing. Was not even, and then I kept thinking, there's some joke in there of fuck a duck, dead duck. I don't know what it is, but there's something there. And then finally, I know. Oh my God, Bonnie, Stuart Brand. Okay, Stuart Brand is this guy. He wants to bring these species back to life, and there's these organizations that, first of all, Bonnie, I've heard about organizations you can't imagine, like the International Society of People Who Hear Voices Association. That exists. Well, Stuart Brand really is interested in having these extinct species come back. And there's like societies like the Bring Back the Passenger Pigeon Society that has meetings and conferences. And he wants to bring back like the passenger pigeon or like the woolly mammoth. And I was thinking, really? The woolly mammoth? I mean, like, where's the woolly mammoth gonna go? I mean, maybe he should start, like something a little easier. Maybe bring back Leonard Skinnard. Start with something tinier, or maybe just the whole Earth catalog. Because, we miss it. We miss it. Oh, Bonnie, I wish you could have been there. All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Oh, this way.